What would you do if the person sleeping beside you had already erased you from their life hours before you found out? It was 2:17 a.m. in our apartment on West 47th Street in Manhattan, and the only light in the room came from my laptop screen, still glowing, still open, still showing her email. I wasn't supposed to see it. I wasn't supposed to read the subject line that said, "Last night was worth everything." I wasn't supposed to scroll, but I did. And by the time I realized what I was looking at, it was already too late to pretend I didn't know. Because the message wasn't just words. It was a confession, and it ended with a photo, one that would change everything. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. I stared at that image until my vision blurred. A hotel room, clean sheets, dim lighting, the edge of a champagne bottle on the nightstand. And her, my wife, smiling in a way she hadn't smiled at me in months. He wasn't in the frame, but his hand was, wrapped around her waist like he belonged there. I closed the laptop slowly, like that would somehow seal the truth back inside it. Behind me, she shifted in bed. "Babe," she mumbled. "You coming?" Her voice, soft, familiar, felt like a knife sliding under my ribs. "Yeah," I said. My voice didn't sound like mine. I got into bed beside her. She turned, half asleep, and rested her head on my chest like she always did. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just stared into the dark and listened to the quiet hum of a life that had just ended. The next morning, she kissed me goodbye like nothing had happened. "I'll be late tonight," she said, grabbing her bag. "Client dinner in Midtown." I nodded. "Of course." She smiled. "Casual. Easy. Perfect." I watched her walk out the door, and that's when the humiliation hit me. Not the anger. Not yet. Just the realization that I had been living with a stranger. A liar. A woman who could look me in the eyes after betraying me and still ask if I wanted coffee. And I had no idea how long it had been going on. But I was about to find out. Over the next few days, I said nothing. I watched. I listened. I noticed everything I had ignored before. The way she guarded her phone now. The sudden gym sessions that lasted hours. The expensive dresses I'd never seen before. The perfume that wasn't meant for me. And the distance. God, the distance. She stopped touching me. Stopped laughing at my jokes. Conversations became transactions. Cold. Efficient. Empty. I started checking things. Receipts in her purse. Rideshare histories. Calendar entries. Then I went back to the email. This time, I didn't stop at one message. There were dozens. Weeks. Maybe months. His name was Daniel. A real estate developer based out of Chicago, but apparently spending a lot of time in New York lately. Lucky him. Their messages weren't just physical, they were emotional. Intimate. She told him things she hadn't told me in years. About how trapped she felt. How she married too early. How I was safe but boring. Every word stripped something away from me. Until there was nothing left but anger. But I didn't confront her. Not yet. Because I realized something important. They thought they were untouchable. And that was their mistake. I started gathering everything. Screenshots of emails. Bank statements showing hotel bookings. The Standard, Soho Grand. Even one weekend at a place in Brooklyn I had never heard of. I hired a private investigator. 2 weeks later, I had photos. Clear ones. Her walking into a hotel with him. Her laughing. Her kissing him. I should have broken then. But I didn't. Because something inside me had changed. I wasn't the man who needed answers anymore. I was the man who was going to end them. Carefully. Completely. I met with a lawyer in a quiet office near Bryant Park. I laid everything out. Infidelity. Financial misuse. Evidence. By the end of the meeting, I had a plan. Not just for divorce, but for destruction. Weeks passed. I played my role perfectly. Supportive husband. Understanding partner. I even asked about her client dinners. She lied smoothly. And every lie just tightened the net. Then I set the date. Her company was hosting a major networking event at a rooftop venue in Midtown. Investors, colleagues, friends, and him. Daniel was flying in. Of course he was. I made sure of it. I arrived early that night. Suit pressed. Calm. Invisible. I had everything prepared. Slides. Documents. Emails. Photos. When she walked in and saw me, she froze for half a second. Then she smiled. "Hey," she said, surprised. "Didn't know you were coming." "Thought I'd support you," I said. She kissed my cheek. I almost laughed. The presentation started an hour later. She was on stage, confident, glowing, everything I used to admire. Halfway through, I signaled the tech guy. He nodded. And then it began. The screen behind her flickered. Changed. First, an email. Then another. Then photos. Clear. Undeniable. The room went silent. Her voice stopped. She turned slowly and saw everything. Her face drained of color. "What is this?" she whispered. I stepped forward. "Truth," I said. People were already murmuring. Phones coming out. Daniel stood frozen in the crowd. Caught. Exposed. She looked at me, panic rising. "We can talk about this, please." I shook my head. "No," I said quietly. "We're done talking." Security moved in. Not for me. For them. The damage was already done. Her career? Gone. Her reputation? Destroyed. And Daniel? Married. With 2 kids. His wife received everything that same night. I made sure of that too. The divorce was fast. Brutal. Public. She tried to fight it. Tried to spin it. But the evidence didn't lie. And neither did the internet. Months later, I saw her once. Outside a coffee shop in Queens. She looked smaller. Like life had taken something from her. She saw me. Started to walk over. Then stopped. Because she knew. There was nothing left to say. I didn't hate her anymore. That part was over. I just looked at her for a moment, then walked away. And I never looked back. Because some betrayals don't end with closure. They end with silence. The end.